And good Tuesday evening to everyone as we get ready for more. Well, I'll put it this way. We had a lot of rain today. It came down in droves, real heavy rain. Up in Philadelphia and Neshoba County, there were a lot of people without power this afternoon. It was up to about 400 at one point. There was about 40 people in Kemper County without power. All of that is, I think, been restored. We'll go back and check on Neshoba County here in a minute to see where things are. As we go into tonight, we have severe weather predicted for tomorrow afternoon, and we also have it for Thursday. What I wanted to point out is a lot of people feel that, well, last week really wasn't anything to it. It was south of us, and this week is going to be like that too. Well, I don't think that's going to be the case this week. We need to really treat this as a major storm that is coming. We're sitting at a 3 right now out of 5. According to the National Weather Service. And there's a strong chance that this could be upgraded. And as I mentioned, this is kind of like, I'm trying to think of who it would be, kind of like the unknown comic, the guy that you've never seen the picture of. He stays behind it. Stormin' Norman joins me this evening. How are you this afternoon?
I'm fine. Nice. Thank you for having me on here.
Man,
it's a pleasure to be with you tonight.
Yeah, you've been doing weather for quite some time, as I have, and I wanted you to join to give your opinion of this. Now, as I just mentioned, and you tell me if I'm wrong, last week we got off really easy. No one was hurt in either state. What are the odds of this happening 2 weeks?
Very slim, I would think. Of course, I was out of pocket last week. I was on a vacation with my son who just got back from the Army, and so we went out west for a little bit. And so I was keeping track on my phone, and and every time I looked, it's like, man, that looks awesome for the state. And a couple hours later, I said, well, something's fixing to develop, and, nothing did.
Right.
But the chance of that happening again with the parameters and everything that's involved in this it's not looking good for Thursday for the state of Mississippi.
Now, and for folks, I know there's a lot of folks that know who Stormin' Norman is. You've been doing this, on your page for how many years now?
Probably about 11 years.
About 11 years? Now, you are by
Yes.
profession a school teacher, but you went to Mississippi State and took classes with meteorology, did you not?
I did. I minored in broadcast meteorology at Mississippi State. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that most of the people that you see on the Weather Channel and throughout the country that are broadcast meteorologists graduate from Mississippi State.
Well, see, I did not know that.
Yeah, Carl Parker on the Weather Channel, I had several classes with him.
Well, it's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but a lot of them, graduate from Mississippi State.
All right, now tell me this. Now, we'll begin tomorrow afternoon with, let me pull up here. I've got a slight risk here. I've got what the map has from the National Weather Service. And let me, I pulled up the wrong one. Hang on here. Let me pull this up where I can get all my little ducks in a row here to where I make sense. Let me go up to what the National Weather Service is offering us for tomorrow afternoon. And I've got that pulled up on the screen now. Now, they're showing that it's for the most part, we're in a 1, and you have to go to the Delta before you get into a slight risk of bad weather, Greenville, Cleveland area.
Yeah, I think that's where the main threat is tomorrow is northwest Mississippi. Further southeast toward the I-20 corridor, I think it's going to be very isolated severe weather. But I tell people it's not isolated if it's at your house.
That's true.
But it should be really scattered and isolated. We may not have anything tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, but there's always that slight chance of something happening. If anything happens tomorrow, it's going to be probably a brief spin-up tornado. We don't expect anything on the ground long or any strong tornadoes, but 75, 80-mile-an-hour winds, if it's at your house,
that's damage. Yeah, it certainly would. And
Yes,
a lot of times, straight line winds will make it look as though it was a tornado that went through, but it was the actual winds.
Exactly. And way to tell the difference is pretty much straight line winds, everything is going to be laid down the same. The trees will be pointing the same way. And that's how when the National Weather Service comes out and surveys stuff. If it's everything twisted, you got a tree laying here, tree laying the other way, then obviously they know it's a tornado, not straight line winds.
But if it's pushed over, they go with the straight line winds. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now,
it's all pushed over the same way.
All right, we have a chance also for some hail to be included in tomorrow also, do we not?
Yes, we do. Yeah. that's maybe more of a threat than the tornado threat.
All right, and I brought this up a moment ago when we came on there about everybody understanding the threat of what is coming here. We're at a level 3, and do you think, in my opinion, is a possibility? Do you think they're going to raise this tomorrow to a 4?
Well, before I went to bed on my page last night, it was a level 2. And I said, I'll be shocked in the morning if it's not a level 3, and it was a level 3. I'm not going to be shocked, but I'll be kind of surprised if it's not a level 4 in the morning.
Okay, but
I think
fully expected before Thursday, though.
Yes, I think they're going to raise it tomorrow to probably a level 4.
All right,
from what I've been reading and stuff.
In everything that I've looked at, and this is what I mentioned a while ago, and I've brought this up many, many times when we talk about tornadoes, of having a safe place to go to, wearing your boots that are thick-soled in case your home was hit wherever you are, to where you can step, to where your nails won't go through your shoes, your lightweight tennis shoes, having a helmet to where because your head is what gets hurt if you're thrown in a tornado.
Yes, sir. Yes, so there's no doubt about it. Obviously, put as many walls as you can between you and the storm. And usually, if a tornado hits your house, it is going to be on the southwest side of your house. So you want to get as far away from your southwest corner of your house as possible.
Yeah, that is right. All right, let's start talking about timeline of when this storm is going to be rolling in tomorrow afternoon, on Thursday afternoon, of the timeline of what you think.
Yeah, I think there's some good news and bad news. The good news is it's going to be during the daytime, which, is better than night. But at the same time, that's when all the instability is going to be, is tomorrow afternoon. And I think the bullseye is going to be probably from about 2 in the afternoon to about 7 o'clock tomorrow night, or Thursday night.
Yeah, Thursday night. As the National Weather Service puts that, of course they're going to give some padding there in the early part. They say start paying attention around 10 a.m. And as everything that I've looked at, like you just said, 2 to 7 p.m. could be the very rough time.
Yeah. And tomorrow afternoon, by this time, we should have probably within a 3 or 4 hour period there that you kind of narrow it down for your specific area or whatever.
Right. All right. Let's start talking about the areas of what could be the worst impacted. As we pull up, I've got the map showing here from the National Weather Service of what they've got right now at a 3, and they're saying damaging wind of 70 miles an hour. Which county would you say, in your best opinion at this point, has the greatest risk of some damage?
Well, as the whole state right now is pretty much under the gun. But if I had to pick an area that is probably kind of, I guess you would say, has the best chance of seeing a long track tornado, something, similar to what happened in Louisville several years ago, and some of your major tornadoes, would be probably anywhere east of I-55, north of I-20, drawing a line from Jackson to Tupelo, and probably 50 to 60 miles either side of that line.
Okay, so this area right up through here where it would be. And
pretty much.
And again,
central northeast Mississippi.
It's very hard to say, all right, this county is going to get that. The general area is what, and again, now, just because we didn't bring up an area doesn't mean that it can't happen there.
No,
so
it could
keep
be.
That in mind.
Vicksburg, Macomb, Hattiesburg, the coast could easily. But but if you want to just say, okay, this area right here is the prime area, I would say east of I-55, north of I-20. Draw a line from Jackson to Tupelo, and 50 or 60 miles south and north of that line would probably be the bullseye.
So we'll watch that very carefully. And again, we're looking at a timeline of 2 to 7 is kind of what we think. Now, last week, everything kind of drifted to the northeast. And as you and I talked a minute ago before we went live, this was almost going back to like 2011, the path that it took where it went east and went toward Tuscaloosa.
Yes, sir. That's what happened in 2011, and this, what happened last Wednesday. Everything developed to the south, and the atmosphere only can hold so much, and so a lot of times when those storms develop, they kind of take a lot of juice out of the atmosphere, and that's what I think happened last Wednesday. Is those storms that developed, took a lot of the juice out of the atmosphere, and whenever the time was right for it to get started here in Mississippi, there just wasn't anything for those storms to work with.
All right, let's. What year was it that Louisville got hit so bad? What year was that?
Was it 2014, I believe?
It was
I
there. All
want
right,
to say.
let's, in your mind,
Yeah.
let's go back and look at 2014. With the conditions of what we're seeing now, are they similar to what kind of happened of what we were getting predicted in 2014 before that hit? Or is this
Oh,
more
yes.
backing up to 2011?
I think it's more backing up to 2011. Of course, once again, last week was kind of backing up to 2011 also, and I made that mention on the Facebook post. So, but I think that if you had to compare, 2011 is probably, what I've been looking at, the tornado parameters, which, when they talk about significant tornado parameters,
Right.
STP, it's basically putting everything in a pot to make a tornado, and everything that's there and more. Like STP anything above a 2 is significant. I've been seeing numbers 10 and 12 across our area for Thursday afternoon.
Right.
I mean, just out of this, out the chart kind of stuff.
So that's what we've got, and you're getting a lot of thank yous on the page there. I'm looking at some of the comments of where the folks are thanking you for what you've done through the years as well. We've got just about every area that you can imagine watching this afternoon, and if you've got a question, throw that out, and I'll pass that along to Norman because he's not looking at the screen now, but I can pass along anything that goes on here. Even Columbus, Mississippi, Randy Rigdon. How are you doing, Randy? Glad you watching us this afternoon there. And we go back to, let's talk about this because I brought this up to where, and I think you feel the same way I do, where a lot of people are kind of putting this off and going, all right, this is just same old stuff. It's like a thunderstorm that's going to come up. And what would you say to that?
Yeah, that's not the case. There may be some fatigue from last week that nothing happened. It's going to be a miracle if we go 2 weeks in a row. Without somebody getting hit pretty hard, with the parameters that I'm seeing.
Right.
Now we hope that it happens. We hope that, we're sitting there, everybody's saying, well, y'all hyped it up again. I hope that's true. I mean,
right.
I don't want anybody to get, but you need to be aware that the conditions are there for a significant tornado outbreak in Mississippi. And some of these tornadoes could be on the ground a very long time and cause significant damage.
Now, and a lot of people don't quite understand when the word long track tornado is mentioned, and what that is meaning is miles and miles on the ground.
Yeah, just like the Louisville tornado started along the river and marched all the way across Mississippi and hit Louisville. The Tuscaloosa tornado in 2011 started just northwest or northeast of Philadelphia and made it all the way into Tuscaloosa.
And that's a long way.
Those are long track tornado. Yeah.
And I don't know if everybody, if you want a refresher, just Google the Tuscaloosa tornado and take a look at those pictures because it will make you a believer of what can happen.
It looked like something. It looks like a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even look like anything it's incredible. Yeah.
So we've got a huge weather event coming up. Slight chance tomorrow. Our biggest chance is going to be Thursday as Storm Norman passes along his wealth of knowledge of predicting these storms of where they come from. Am I leaving out anything that we need to pass along on this prediction end of this?
Well, I don't think so. That's pretty much it. It's just I think the conditions are so right. And I said this last week that if you don't feel safe where you're at, don't wait till Thursday afternoon to move. If you have a friend or a relative where you can stay that you feel safer, by all means do that. Don't wait until a warning is issued because it's going to be too late then.
And I want to emphasize this also, and I brought this up the last week when we were talking about this. If you live in a mobile home, do not stay in a mobile home with a tornado warning when it is issued. Have your plan, be out of there. And as I mentioned, if you don't have a place to go, drive to town, go to Walmart, go somewhere that's got thick walls.
Anything safer, yeah. It's
yeah.
Safe. Yeah.
We've just seen
Unfortunately,
so many.
Mississippi. Yeah. Mississippi leads the deaths in tornadoes in the whole union. Yeah, we're number one.
And see, now I didn't realize that.
Yeah, per capita, it's not even close. Of course, it says a lot. about the tornadoes we have also.
Right.
You know, they're very dangerous here because you can't see them. They're rain wrapped, a lot of moisture with them. They're just called, better word, they're just very dirty tornadoes. I mean, they're not, you know, they're just trees in them, and you just can't see them coming.
Right.
And so, that's why that's why so many people lose their life in Mississippi. And also, you know, mobile homes and stuff. It's just, you know, it's almost impossible to survive in a
You know, and
in a big
another
tornado with those.
another thing, and let's go over this. If you're driving down the road, and you know, Lord knows this can happen, you get caught in a situation.
Yeah.
The best places to go to.
Ditch. Never stop under an overpass.
That's
Looks
what I
like
was
a
getting
wind
at.
tunnel.
Because people,
Yeah,
I
a lot of
think, do mistake in that.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's be like a wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stay away
Uh,
from that.
Yeah, stay away from, no doubt about it. Yeah, the best place is in a ditch, not in that car, because that car's going to go flying with you.
Now, I'm going to pull this up on the screen while we're talking here. As we showed the map for Mississippi, I'm going to pull up what Birmingham is telling everyone of what is likely to happen there. And this line that is incorporated into Mississippi, the same level as 3, is from Demopolis. It's a northeasterly line from Demopolis, just east of Tuscaloosa, through Birmingham and close to where Gadsden, Alabama, and then everything back west of there is going to be is going to be included in the Mississippi part.
Yeah, I think if you go into Alabama, anything west of I-65,
Right.
anything between I-55 and I-65 was like the bullseye north of I-20.
And as you pull this up, Butler, Alabama is going to be included in this, and due south of Meridian, Waynesboro in Mississippi, where the tornado touched down last week and destroyed the chicken houses, is also included in that. And then the next thing that we look at is going to be the chances of flash flooding coming with this storm. It's going to be a lot of rain come down.
Yes, in fact, the rivers. If you're driving over the rivers and creeks right now, they're at the banks right now. Because of the ice and snow we had a couple weeks ago and some heavy rain last week, it's not going to take much to have some flash flooding.
All right, as I'm pulling these up here about the flash floods, if I go down and I pull up what is coming out of the National Weather Service out of New Orleans, they are predicting that New Orleans could get up from anywhere from 8 to 10 inches of rain, and then by the time you get to our area, I think it's going to be somewhere around 4 inches for the Meridian area, and that takes in the Union area and all of this when I say Meridian area.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm seeing also, and you know, more people die of floods than, you know, any other weather event. You know, and it's kind of overlooked.
Yeah, and
but so many people don't respect it.
Don't drive through it.
Don't know.
You know, and there's several streets within downtown Meridian that flood every time that there's a huge rain. It goes over the road, and it just don't go through it.
Don't go through it. Yeah, they, you know, the National NOAA, National Weather Service says, you know, turn around, don't drown. I mean, that's a good saying to remember.
Right. I was looking to see if we had any more things that had popped up here. If anybody was chasing it, had any questions? Let's see. I'm scrolling through here. Pam Sullivan said it was the worst storm she'd ever witnessed in 2011 on Highway 21. And let's see. Well, all right. We got a lot of comments going through, and I urge you when you get a chance to go back and scroll through the comments that we're getting here. Norman, I want to certainly thank you for joining me this afternoon and passing on. And we'll be checking back with you because at the end of the day, you and I both have a goal, and that's to keep everybody as safe as we absolutely can as these storms approach.
No doubt. You know, that's one of the things living in Mississippi. You got hurricanes and tornadoes and winter storms, and weather's wild down here. So you have to be on your toes at all times because it can change in a heartbeat.
Sure can. All right. Well, Storm and Norman, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll be back in touch with you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Maybe we can talk about some sunshine next time around.
Let's hope so. You have a good evening. Thanks for joining me.
All right. Thanks, Scott. All right. Bye-bye.
There was Storm and Norman joining me this afternoon and passing along what he thinks is gonna be as well as I do of a major weather event headed our way on Thursday. And again, as I said earlier, I do think a lot of folks have gotten in their mind, well, didn't much happen last week, so, well, it's going to be okay this week. We don't know that. And we're already getting indications that this could be a huge storm. We're at a 3. It's a possibility this will be moved up to a 4 tomorrow. And it's a large area here in Mississippi that is included in this, on this. So take heed on this. Have your weather plan. If you've got a question, feel more then more than welcome to drop a note there, and we'll answer those as much as easily as we can. Let's see, Haley Vowell, what about Philadelphia to Jackson? I have an appointment at 2:30. If you're talking Thursday at 2:30, I would cancel my appointment because our timeline is 10 to 7, and we're looking at probably the storm starting somewhere around 1:30, 2 o'clock. You're in that time zone there of I wouldn't be on the road if I didn't have to be. So I would change that if I got to drive to Jackson during that time frame. I would skip that. And as your mama said, always better safe than sorry. I would change mine around a little bit there and do that. And again, we've got all areas watching this afternoon. I want to say thank you to y'all for doing that. I'm scanning here, trying to make sure that I hadn't missed something that was important. Again, thank y'all for the comments. We do appreciate that. A big thank you to all of our sponsors that jump in here. I'll be back in the morning beginning at 6:30 with a live broadcast, and then Candace will join me at 8:30 for a live morning show. We do that as well. If you've never watched, each one of you. And I ask you to share this because there's a lot of people that just aren't aware of it, that don't know that they can come to us to get weather. So if you would share it and also follow, that's how you have to do it these days with Facebook. To let more people know. And that's at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to make sure is that there's a lot of people that are aware of what's going on. I will go live the minute weather starts ramping up, going bad, we'll be on it to give you the watches, the warnings as they happen. Should anything happen tomorrow, we'll be on that, and as well on Thursday afternoon. And I have to say thank you very much for coming by and spending time with me. And God bless, and I will see you bright and early in the morning. I'll post anything that happens tonight. But again, thank you for dropping by and spending a little time with me. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Again, thank you so much for being a part of this here at Scotty Ray's Weather.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by